I hope to have Roger James of the Roger James 4 on air at the end of the next song, and just to get us in the mood, let's have a Roger James 4 song, and this is If You Try.
If you try to look for love, never comes your way. When you're not expecting love, comes along one day. So, please believe me when I tell you what I say is true. Yes, you will find that love will come to you. Love may be so very near, or so far away. So when things don't seem so clear, think of what I say. And please believe me when I tell you what I say is true. Yes, you will find that love will come to you. You may sigh to think love has passed you by, but if you wait, you'll see it's never too late for love. Love may be so very near, or so far away. So when things don't seem so clear, think of what I'd say. And please believe me when I tell you what I say is true. Yes, you will find that love will come to you. Please believe me when I tell you what I say is true. Yes, you will find that love will come to you.
And there we have, fantastic song there. And that's If You Try by the Roger James 4. And all going well, I hope I have got Roger James on line 1. Good evening, Roger.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm very good. Let's try and turn you up a little bit. It's the first time we've done a live call on this system. I'm good, Roger, and how are you?
Oh, not too bad, thank you, mate.
Good. And how have you been getting through the lockdown?
Oh, pretty good. Just playing my guitar, writing a few songs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. Bit of poetry. Just keeping busy. My nephew's been sending me parcels from Amazon through the post, so it's been keeping me alive.
Oh, thank goodness for that. And let's hope we can... we'll talk about what you're going to do after lockdown shortly. Now, let's take you back. We're going to start off, not quite at the very beginning of your career, but we go to May 1961. You were a young man. You still hadn't had your 17th birthday. Is that right? You were still 16?
No, I was 16. You got a bit quiet, by the way, Nick.
Okay. And, yes, I'm trying to turn you up a bit. Hold on. There we go. Right. And so you were 16 coming on 17?
I was. Yeah, I travelled from Southampton to Hamburg, and I'd barely been out of my village. The village called Sedgeburgh near Evesham in Worcestershire, and I'd only been out of the village, to visit the local town, and the furthest I'd ever been was Worcester Royal Infirmary when I got peritonitis when I was 15, coming on 16.
Oh, wonderful!
So that was exciting.
Okay. Now, when you there's a lot of the listeners here were Swinging Radio England listeners back in the 60s. Now, you had a very good personal manager and promoter called Reg Calvert.
Yeah, Reg was great at getting gigs, great at naming people like Eddie Sex and Danny Storm and Rod Ace. That was my name, Rod Ace at the beginning.
Oh, wonderful. Of course, Reg is known also in pirate radio circles. Of course, he ran or owned Radio City.
He did.
Which, of course, very sadly, we all know the story of that, and we do think it was him getting murdered that probably brought on the Marine Offences Act earlier.
Definitely.
Yeah, bless him.
Yeah, I was with Reg about, it couldn't have been more than about 2 or 3 weeks before he got shot. And it was in the Gioconda coffee bar, where down below the Rolling Stones used to record, and we used to sit there and have our meal up the top in the Gioconda coffee bar. And I think that was called, I can't remember what that studio was called now, but the Rolling Stones had cut their first 2 or 3 singles there. Regent Sound it was called.
Wonderful, brilliant.
And we used to congregate there, and Reg came in one day and got me by the ear and took me up to the counter. He was always doing silly things like this.
Oh, bless
and
him.
He said, give him a pudding, because he was a Yorkshireman. He said, give him a pudding with plenty of jam. I probably couldn't afford a pudding. I could afford the main meal, and that was it.
Okay, now it was. I'm right in thinking. So do please feel free to correct me. I'm talking about your life story here. Am I right in thinking Reg Calvert was the one that got you into Hamburg back in '61? Is that correct?
He definitely was. Yeah, I auditioned for him in Worcester. I think it was Worcester ice rink. They used to cover over the ice rinks in those days. That was dance floors. And I passed the audition, came around my house, talked to my father that night, drove me home in the van, and said, I'll see you in Southampton, where he was based, in a couple of days. So I packed my bags, went down there, and I was rehearsing and doing a few shows in the south, and then Reg said, we're going to Hamburg. I said, I don't know where that is.
You soon found out, though.
We soon found out. It was very exciting.
Ah, brilliant. Well, it's exciting just listening to you. Now, so you get there in May '61. The club you mentioned when you sent me sort of like a little life story some time ago was the infamous Reaper Barn. Now, tell us about who you met there quite early on. You went to have a meal with him. Is that a little clue?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was incredible, because when we arrived in Hamburg, we realised that our drum kit, guitars and basses and all the rest of it, luckily enough we had our stage clothes with us, had gone somewhere else. So Peter Eckhorn, who we got to know, who was the club owner, he pointed to this chap standing behind me, and he said, take these guys for a meal. And he gave us all 10 marks each and 10 Zigaretten, as they called them, cigarettes, because everybody smoked in those days.
Sure.
And he gave us 10 cigarettes, 10 marks, which is, I don't know, probably about £10 in those days, £5 perhaps. And off we went to have this meal with this bloke, and he started to stop me if I'm rambling.
No, I'm just waiting for you, because I'm not going to prompt you. I know who the chap is, because got you these. No, fine. You're doing well with the story. Carry on.
Well, this chap took us to a little place, and it was round the corner. I think it was the first turning on the left as we came out of the top 10 club where we would be playing. That very night, I think, or did we have, I can't remember whether we had that night off. I think we played that night. We had to go and get some equipment. But anyway, this chap took us around the corner, started to order these Eingemüse, mit Brettkartoffeln, ein Tee mit Milch und Zuckerbitter, you know, and he'd call the waiter over, Herr over, you know, and we thought, bloody hell, this is good. This is really good. This is like because none of us could speak German apart from the drummer, who we was taught it at school in Southampton. He came from Southampton, and anyway, we were overly impressed with this chap. Had the meal, sat back, and enjoyed everything. And then he said, "Let's go back to the club." So I went back to the club. He said, "I'll show you where your quarters are," and that sort of stuff. And as we walked through the club, this chap was standing on the staircase above, up near where we were going to stay, that we didn't know it at the time. And he shouts down, he says, "Who is it, Paul?" So obviously this chap was Paul McCartney.
Brilliant.
From a little known band who had never been heard of at the time, who were doing a month's stint before us at the club, you see. So
fantastic.
John Lennon said, "Who is it, Paul?" So Paul said, "Oh, I was called Robbie Hood and his Merry Men," and it was featuring Glendale and Roy Young, the famous, he was known as the British Little Richard.
Wonderful.
He was on 6-5 Special when I first saw him. He was quite a name, anyway.
Okay, brilliant.
He'd recorded and stuff. So that was the initiation.
Brilliant.
To the club. And this chap on the stairs said, Paul said, "It's only Robbie Hood and the Merry Men, John." So obviously it was John Lennon. We didn't know. They weren't known.
Brilliant.
And John said, oh, good, I'll go back to bloody bed then.
Okay. Roger. Brilliant.
That's his exact words.
Lovely.
They swear on the air, but
it's not really swear. It's not swearing in this stone age. Roger, I'm going to play one of your songs. It's "Don't You Worry." Then we'll come back for a little bit more of a chat. Okay, so hold fire, and I'll speak to you in 1 minute 44 seconds. There you go.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Don't you worry if he says goodbye. Don't you worry if he makes you cry, 'cause I'll be waiting here for you. Don't you worry if he breaks your heart. Don't you worry if he says goodbye, 'cause I'll be waiting here for you. There comes a time when you and I give your sweet love to me. And that's the time things will end right. And that's the way it should be. Don't you worry if he brings you down, spreading rumors all over town, 'cause I'll be waiting here for you. There comes a time when you and I give your sweet love to me. And that's the time things will end right. And that's the way it should be. Don't you worry if it brings you down, spreading rumors all over town, 'cause I'll be waiting here for you.
And there we have Roger James for "And Don't You Worry." Right, thank you, Roger. And yes, that's a fantastic little story you gave us there. Right, got you back there. Yeah, have got you. Brilliant. I couldn't hear you for a second. Right, now, you're in Hamburg. Now, the Beatles, I believe, were there a month before you. And what other famous bands sort of came over about 4 weeks later from that? Do you remember which one?
As we were sort of picking up to leave, this band arrived and they were playing on the stage and rehearsing, and they had no bass player. I was around at that. There was no bass player. There was a chap playing guitar on the bass notes of the guitar to make it sound like a bass. And it was Jerry Marsden.
Brilliant. Brilliant, lovely story.
We didn't know who they were either.
And of course, Jerry Marsden and Jerry and the Pacemakers, not a lot of people know this wonderful fact. The first Merseyside band to have a number one in the UK was, of course, Jerry and the Pacemakers, not the Beatles, as many think.
Very across the Mersey, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, I've got to ask you about now.
You'll never walk alone.
Indeed. Now, I want to ask you about a certain character in Hamburg at the time. Now, even I know this, and it's 59 years on. If the bloke's still alive, he'd be 90-odd. Now, this famous doorman who could have three men underneath each arm and just throw them all out, by the name of Horst Fascher. Do you remember him?
God, he was big. he was stocky. He wasn't tall, but he was stocky and big shoulders, and he took no nonsense from anybody. And if as was the tradition, the girls who wanted to buy you a drink, it was normally a girl who would buy you a drink, send you a drink up, and they would send you a drink up to the bar. It would be Horst Fascher that would bring the drink up, and it would be him that would make sure that you got to the bar, and the band always got served, because we only got 10 minutes break every hour, and we used to work for 8 hours a night.
Wow.
You've been placed on hold. Please wait.
Roger, you there? Hello, Roger. Hello, Roger. Right, we'll try and get Roger back in a second. We're going to have another one of his songs, Leave Me Alone. There we go. You there, Roger?
So you wanna leave, found somebody else, tell me he can love you.
Ah, we've got you back, brilliant.
Better than myself.
No, it's one of these things. What I'm going to do, I'll put you straight back on. Right, we have Roger back. I'm sure he will let me interrupt one of his 60s songs halfway through. We'll play it again in a minute, Roger. Thank you, Roger. Well, nothing like live radio getting put on hold, is there, really? We could have we could have practiced this 24 times earlier. It'd been perfect. You would not have been put on hold once. Brilliant. Now, so... Okay, you had a great time in Hamburg, being such a young man. I think it's fantastic also at the age of 16, coming on 17. Although you left school at 15, your parents still had to be asked for your permission to go. Brilliant.
They did, and that's why Reg Calvert had to come over to my house to say that, you know, how much money he was going to pay me and what. He said I had to have a pair of black trousers and a white shirt and a bow tie, and he'd supply the rest, and he was going to pay me £5 a week instead of £3.10 shillings that I was getting as a painter and decorator.
Well, that's a good percentage increase, isn't it? And of course, Reg Calvert, he was it the Fortunes or the Foundation? One of those he had. Was it Foundations, Fortunes, or both?
Well, Glendale was with me out in Hamburg, you see, and then when we came back, there were still other guys from Birmingham called Rod and Barry. I can't remember their surnames, but Rod and Barry, and then there was Gary on drums, and they formed a band called the Fortunes.
Lovely.
And I'd left Reg, and I bumped into Tony Clark, which is he was my duo partner, Rog and Tone we were called, after I was no longer Robbie Hood and his Merry Men. But there's loads of stories, but we'd be here all day.
There'll be plenty of other times, Roger, no problems. Yeah. So you got through the 60s, you did a little recording for Mr. Epstein right towards the end, so nothing happened because it really was last before he passed, I believe. But you've got a lovely YouTube channel with quite a lot of stuff on, and that's nice. And you've even got recordings of me when I've had you playing your stuff, which I'm thrilled to be on there, you know, Roger.
Oh, that's good. There's a chap called Paul Sparrey that I befriended when I did hospital radio myself for about 10 or 12 years I was doing it.
Wonderful.
And I started off in a mental hospital, which is no longer there. It's a posh block of flats now.
Oh.
And then I went to Radio North Middlesex. Well, we were. He was on the same station as me on the first station at the mental hospital, but he'd left by the time I came. But they've got a reunion type website, and he's very interested in anything to do with radio, pirate or otherwise. And he said, he would help me. So he helped me set up that web page and everything, and he finds all the video clips to go with everything. So
he does, brilliant clips, traditional, 60s clips he finds, street scenes, cars, everything, pretty young ladies, the works. Very good, very good.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it.
I wouldn't know where to start. Okay, so...
He's very, very good.
Yes, he is. He's and anybody that would like the link to that, just ask and I will forward it. It's a great little page which people can like and watch those videos. Let's get into the more recent time, because some of your stuff is on CD now, which is available, I believe, from the all remastered.
Yeah, I think there's still two of the CDs available, but I was on a company called Blue Jay Records, which is based in Halesowen in the Midlands, not far from Paul Sparrey. But he sort of packed up the business and went into something else, and so I then signed up with the Cherry Red Records, which but they were sort of like a punk label, I think, in the 1978 they started.
Okay.
They specialise in oldies like me, old has-beens or hasn't-beens or...
Will be agains. Brilliant, Roger. Now, let's look to the future. Now, I know you've still been gigging right up to the lockdown. So, obviously, I assume more gigging when we're back to normal, God forbid.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And any more CDs coming out, or is your collection covered by the 2 CDs, do you think?
Well, as the Cherry Red were mainly interested in my back catalogue.
Sure.
They released my 1973 album Riding Free with I think 11 bonus tracks on it, which there's even demos on there with Elton John singing backup vocals. Obviously, it was
wow. Not many people can say that, Roger. Roger, it's been great chatting to you. We'll get back to our Beatles Spectacular, and I hope that you'll come and join us again for another chat in the future, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you when I met the Beatles in person, when they walked into the room at Clifton Hall when I was with Rich.
Yes.
Some interesting stories.
Indeed. Well, we'll have another Beatles Spectacular. We will definitely have one this year because we coincided with someone's birthday, and of course not forgetting the 8th of December. Sadly, this year it'll be 40 years since John Lennon was sadly murdered. But we chat a lot, don't we, Roger? So we'll plan the next chat and what we're going to talk about at some point during the course of the summer. Maybe we'll have you back on for a 10-minute chat or so. Is that okay?
That'd be excellent.
Ah, bless you.
I'll be listening to the rest of your show.
Oh, bless you, Roger, and thank you for taking out so much time of your Saturday nights. And thank you, appreciate it, Roger. And here is the Roger James 4, and Leave Me Alone.
God bless me. Thank you.
So you wanna leave, found somebody else. Tell me he can love you better than myself. But if you love him so, you better go and leave me alone. Bought you everything that you ever had. Never treat you down, girl. Never made you sad. But if you love him so, you better go and leave me alone. Whoa, I thought you'd be the kind of girl who love me till the end of time. But now I know I can't go. It's so hard to find. Well, I think I'll go now. Think I understand. Instead of kissing your lips, child, I'll be shaking your hand. But if you love him so, you better go and leave me alone. Whoa, whoa, I thought you really gotta go. Love me till the end of time. But now I know I gotta go. It's so hard to find. Well, I think I'll go now. Think I understand. Instead of kissing your lips, child, I'll be shaking your hand. But if you love him so, you better go and leave me alone. Why don't you leave me alone? Come on, leave me alone.
And there we do have Roger James Ford. What an interesting guy. I think we need an entire show just to hear what he's done.